This entire culture is one big nervous system. And right now, we are highly dysregulated. Let's start with loneliness. We are the most technologically connected society in human history, and we are the loneliest. You don't need the statistics. There's a very real chance that even now, as you're watching this, you're recognizing your own loneliness. And it's not just you. We professionals struggle with it too. I was at a meetup recently, and everyone had their handshakes down, firm grasp, name tag, elevator speech where we introduce ourselves. And as I watched during a break, I noticed something really interesting. Everyone was in their tiny little groups, physically close, socially correct. Yet half the room was subtly scanning or hiding behind the screens of their iPhones. And I remember thinking, we have mastered proximity. We haven't mastered connection. Loneliness isn't just emotional, it's a threat we feel in our bodies. When connection is disrupted or it's not there at all, the same circuitry in our bodies that's used for physical pain lights up. Chronic loneliness and we know the statistics. I'll just go over them again. It's linked to depression, anxiety, heart disease, substance abuse, exposure to violence increases isolation, extreme isolation increases stability. The lone shooter is aptly named. And this isn't just about individuals, it's cultural. We are living through a national attachment disruption. We dehumanize the other. We say those people, we sort, we exile, we polarize, and then we wonder why everything feels so mean. What if loneliness isn't just a psychological problem? What if it's an attachment problem, a regulation problem? And what if the solution isn't individual therapy, but intentionally embedding co-regulation into our culture? Okay, big task. Let's start exploring it now. We live in times of profound stress. If you didn't know that already, glad to share that with you now. Rapid economic change, technological acceleration, social shifts, political upheaval, and the nervous system under chronic threat searches for certainty, belonging, and control. And if it can't find those in healthy ways, it will grab for them anywhere it can. I once heard someone say, I don't know why I keep doom scrolling. It makes me even more anxious than I already am. Yeah, of course it does. But an anxious nervous system will seek stimulation that matches its charge. So think about your nervous system as looking for a playlist. When you're angry, you don't listen to soothing music. More likely, you're going to listen to headbanging music. If you are in the mood to dance, you're getting things done around the house or at work or you're running, you're not going to listen probably to soothing music. You're going to look for, I don't know, on Spotify, dance party. And when we get into our tribes of like-minded individuals, because we are tribal, we do find some way often of getting into a group, not to connect, but at least to be with. Aren't we more likely to join in with the outrage or the disgust? Ah, those people again, right? Than to be the modifying voice, or even my favorite role, the devil's advocate. And when overwhelm increases, stress can even get weaponized. Consumerism, addiction, ideological fusion, the hive mind, outrage cycles where we get each other more and more and more outraged and overwhelmed. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm not telling you that your feelings are invalid. Of course, they're valid. Of course, we'd feel fear. We'd feel anger. We'd even feel shame. Of course, we have those feelings, and we need to take care of those feelings. And when intelligent choice gives way to compulsion, born of overwhelming rage, overwhelming terror, we don't make our best decisions. In that state, our state-dependent thinking goes offline. And right now, we need to make better choices. If we want this culture to do a 180, we need to start thinking strategically. This is not abstract. Culture follows nervous system rules. On one side, secure connection, belonging without exile, co-regulation, curiosity, flexibility, higher quality collective solutions. On the other, exclusion, isolation, dysregulation, rigidity, aggression or withdrawal, polarization and poor decision. That's not politics, that's physiology. If we live inside chronic threat messaging, if we speak in us versus them language, if most of our interactions happen disembodied and online, we're much more likely to suffer from insecure attachment. And insecure systems don't adapt well, they fragment. Now, imagine something different, something better. Let's move from reactivity to relational maturity. Our reactive patterns have us venting anger. What would happen if instead we could contain and direct that anger, that fear, that even that shame intelligently? What if instead of speaking to win, we listened in order to understand? What if instead of conforming in order to belong, we could stay connected without having to conform, even while we're disagreeing? What if instead of fusing our identity with that of our tribe, we could maintain our sense of self, our individual values and understandings while staying attached? And finally, instead of working very hard to avoid discomfort, that kind of spiritual bypassing, we learn to lean in and pendulate that activation, that distress, and be able to come back into regulation. Let's explore this a little bit further.